So every morning when I get up, unless I have a hangover, which is not too common, I have a routine. First thing I do is I make my bed. I make my bed because my parents taught all of us to be organized and clean, and we followed what my parents said. And I was in the Army, so that was reinforced later on in my life. After making my bed, and it's interesting because I live alone, so why would anybody care if I make my bed or not, but I just have this thing in me. After doing that, I go to the kitchen, I drink a couple of glasses of water, because I'm going to go on my run, my daily run, or a jog, or a slow walk, I guess. And then I go to the restroom and I gargle with a mixture that I make up of Listerine, mostly water, because I can't take that straight Listerine, you know, the amber colored Listerine. That's way too strong. And I actually cheat because I don't buy the real Listerine. I buy the generic brand at Walgreens or Target or something like that. I get ready for my jog, and then I splash a lot of water on my face, cold water. And I look at myself in the mirror and I sort of acknowledge me like, hey, Tony, it's going to be a good day. You're going to make it a good day. So you talk to yourself like that. Yo, how you doing? Yeah, it's going to be good, right? So this morning, many years ago, I did that. And I was walking outside to begin my run when I said to myself, whoa, what was that in front of the mirror? What was that? Were you imagining that, or was it really there? What happened? Did something bite you during the night, or did you get hurt somehow? Were you dreaming? So I go back to the bathroom and I stand in front of the mirror, and there it is. And I got really, really nervous. My left eye, the sclera, the white part of the eye, I learned that word, the sclera, was completely red, like a tomato or beet or a strawberry, cherry, pick your fruit or vegetable. It was really, really red, and I was very nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen. Was I going to go blind? What was going to happen next? So I covered my left eye with my hand, and I could see perfectly well with my right eye. Then I covered my other eye, and I could see perfectly well with my left eye. So I was very happy about that. But I didn't know what was going on. Was I going to go blind? So I called my doctor. There was no jogging that morning. I called my doctor. He made an appointment for me for that afternoon. He said, I can have you come in. And then he saw me, and he says, I think I know what it is, but you may want to go see a specialist. What if you go see an optometrist? I said, great. So he called an optometrist. He made some time for me. I got special treatment, I guess, right? And they saw me, and the optometrist said, Tony, after he sat me down and put the light in my eyes, you know, the magnifying glasses, and you're like, oh! He said, you have trichiasis. And I said, whoa, what is that, trichiasis? And it sounds like tricky eye, but it's not. You know, this is like a real term, trichiasis. And he said, well, basically it's really simple. You have a couple of eyelashes that are rogue. They're individuals. They're doing their own thing. They don't want to be part of the team. They're going in towards your eyeball instead of out. They're irritating your eye. And I can easily take care of this. What I'll do is I'll conduct an epilation, another word, right? I'm going to yank out those eyelashes, and then I'm going to give you some cream for your eye, and hopefully you'll be okay. But don't worry about it, it's not that serious. However, I should let you know that it may come back in the future. So I got the epilation, and I got the cream in my eyes and so on. The next day, life was great. My eye was back to normal. A few months later, the eyelashes were at it again. I went back to the optometrist. He removed them. A few months later, one more time, and then he says, Tony, you may want a more permanent solution to this situation. So I suggest you go see a plastic surgeon. I think a plastic surgeon? For a couple of eyelashes? This is really crazy. I don't know what that means. He says, yes. You go to a plastic surgeon and get a consultation. What they recommend a lot of times is electrolysis. They cauterize the follicles so that it kills the root of the eyelash and you won't have that problem anymore. So I make the appointment. A couple weeks later, I go to the plastic surgeon's office, walk into a really nice office, perfect lighting, classical music, aromatherapy, there's a little fountain on the side, life is good, I'm feeling like some rich guy from Hollywood, except it's only 2 eyelashes, so, okay, this is interesting. Is this what they go through when they get plastic surgery? And then I started to fill out the paperwork. Of course, when you go to the doctors, you got to fill out paperwork and paperwork and paperwork. And then I get to the final parts where you're signing waivers. I'm trying to memorize, this is not word for word, but something to the effect of this. How upset would you be if you don't get the exact results that you are hoping to achieve with your plastic surgery? Oh, I don't know what I wrote. Would you have a tendency to seek legal recourse if somehow the operation doesn't result in the desired effects? I said, wow, just for eyelashes, I don't know what to say here. I signed it off. And then the last question, do you understand that by being here and going through with any procedure, there could be risk to your health or even death? I'm like, whoa, this is really serious. But I signed all the paperwork, then they called me into the doctor's office, and I went in there, and I sat down, and the doctor came in, the plastic surgeon, and he said to me, well, Tony, I have an intern who's going to be working with us. He's a doctor. Do you mind if he saw you? I said, no problem. That's not a problem. It's going to be good. It's going to be a consultation, right? Yeah, it's going to be a consultation. So I'm sitting in the office, and the new doctor comes in. And we start to talk about my options. And he says to me, well, are you going to go home after this? What's going on? I tell him the whole deal with the eyelashes. And he says, okay, Tony, what I recommend is we take care of this today. And I said, well, I just came here to talk to you. I wanted to see what my options were. He says, no, it's really easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get out the electrolysis machine, and I'm going to cauterize the follicles. Everything's going to be okay. You go home, and this way you don't have to worry about it again. And I was a little bit nervous because I just gone in there to talk to a doctor, and I was alone. I didn't go with anybody. And you know, those papers that I signed earlier, I was like, what if something happens? Anyway, so he convinced me that I should take care of it. So he said to me, would you like me to use some anesthesia? And I said, well, do you recommend anesthesia? What happens if I don't? He says, it's gonna hurt. And I'm like, okay, yeah, let's use anesthesia. So he gets something that looks like a Q-tip, he puts it in a little jar, and then he dabs my lower eyelid, right here where the rolled eyelashes have been growing, and dabs it, and I think he's going to walk out of the office, but he doesn't. He's just like, la 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 la, okay, we're ready for the next step. And I said, what is the next step? He says, oh, I'm just going to give you a little injection in your lower eyelid there. So he holds my eye open, and I see this huge syringe coming right at me right there. Oh my goodness. It doesn't hurt, but you know, try looking at a syringe coming right at your eye, and that is really, really scary. So he did that, and by now I'm all sweaty and stuff. I'm like, whoa, I don't want to be here. I felt like a kid. I'm like, where's my mama? Where's my mama? I want her here. I was all alone, and I didn't know what to do, but by then it was too late. And then he says, well, I'll come back. He steps out after that injection and comes back and takes out another syringe. And I'm thinking, what's happening now? And then this time he holds my eyelid and injects me right there on the inside part of the eyelid. I'm like, whoa. I'm sweating, I'm wet, this is not good, I want to disappear. Woo! But it didn't hurt. And then finally he started to do the cauterizing. But before he started, he had come in with the machine to do that. And he's, it looked like a little lunchbox. And I'm like, what's he going to do with that? So it's a lunchbox, and there were wires, and there was something at the end that looked like a pen. And he's looking around, and there's no table in front of me, so he's like, hey, do you mind holding this? I'm like, what? I have to hold my own machine here for my operation? Where's the gorgeous blonde female nurse? Where's the handsome man? I don't care. Whatever you bring, I'm really happy. I can't even. It's no pun intended there. I just want somebody else in the room. So I'm holding it, and he's doing it. And then before you know it, it was all over. And he said to me, aren't you glad you got it done? I said, yes, I'm glad. Okay, I got it done. I walked out to the car, and it was a beautiful morning or afternoon in Tucson. The birds were chirping, lots of blue skies and sunshine. I felt a really good relief. But the doctor had told me, the plastic surgeon, he said, by the way, there's only about a 50% chance that this will work. You probably may have to come back. Sure enough, a few months later, the eyelashes were back. But I did not go to a plastic surgeon. I just went back to the optometrist, and he pulled them out a couple times after that. And then they stopped coming out. They stopped coming out, and I was really happy. But preemptive strike is not a good thing to do, because they had stopped coming out like a couple years. I said, I wonder whatever happened to those. So I got in front of the mirror, and I got some tweezers, and I started to try to find them. Like, where did you go? Where did you go? What happened? What happened to the eyelashes? 2 days later, boom, my eye is all red again. Red, I'm thinking, idiot. Talking to myself in the mirror, you're an idiot. Why did you do that? So I went back to the optometrist. He says, Tony, leave them alone. Leave them alone. So he pulled them out for the last time, the epilation, one more time. Now when I get up in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror, I am just happy, and I just leave things as they are.